back to our channel. My name's P-Tay.
I'm Sam.
And today we are going to be doing the long-awaited, okay, not really long-awaited, but the story of how Samuel and I met and started dating. So we're going to kind of go back and forth because
there's two sides to every story.
yes, there's two sides to every story, aka my memory's jank and Samuel has the memory of an elephant. He never forgets anything. So I will start. Samuel and I met the summer of 2017. And that summer, we met at this camp called Gold Lake Ministries, and they would go to lots of different colleges and just kind of like recruit college students like, hey, would you like to work at this camp this summer? And I randomly decided on a whim, like I was just praying about what I was going to do that summer, and they kind of talked to me, and I just immediately knew, I was like, that's where God wants me this summer. So I just decided to go to Michigan. Keep in mind, I lived in Indiana at the time, well, Tennessee at the time, and I just on a whim, I was like, yep, I'm going to be spending the summer in Michigan. Like, I just know that's what God's calling me to. And so that was like March, April. And so camp started in May, like towards the end of May. And so I knew I was going to be spending summer in Michigan. And in May, I had track nationals. So I missed the first 2 days of orientation, I think. So I was in Florida, or Alabama. I was in Alabama for track nationals. And then after that, I drove from Alabama with my sister.
She's an All-American.
I'm an All-American. Thanks. So I drove from Alabama all the way to Michigan, and we like drove straight through. And so we got to camp like a couple days late. And I remember just like being so timid because there's all these new people. You're meeting a ton of new people. I'd never been to this camp before. I was in a completely different state. And so
think of it like this. So you get to camp, and obviously it's just such a camp feel of just like craziness and super high energy. And so like you can imagine her, which she's high energy, but just coming in as like the new person, everybody's screaming all the time, and all these, we're learning all these new things. So it's like, I remember my first year, and it was just so intimidating because there's all these people that are just seemingly crazy. Awesome, great friends, but it's an intense situation to walk into kind of by yourself. So I understand what she's saying.
Yeah. But then you can say how the game.
I pursued it. So one of the things we did, I guess, during orientation it's called speed dating. But essentially, there's every boy, and it's pretty close to 50-50. I think there may have been more girls that year. So all the boys sit in a circle in the middle, and then all the girls sit on the outside of that circle. And so
we're facing each other.
And so basically you have 60 seconds to kind of get to know, and it's not really dating, it's just a get to know you, icebreaker type of thing.
Yeah.
And so, so let's say you pair up with somebody, and then 60 seconds later you move to your right, and you do the same thing. You ask questions, you just get to know that person. I remember talking to her during speed dating, quote unquote. I connected that because we were in the same league in track and field. And so I remember seeing her because she was that girl that everybody talked about that was beating everybody, and it was so good. And I remember her. And then she said she went to nationals, and so I did track and field, and so like there was this kind of connection. It was like, oh, we both do track. It was just kind of cool.
It was very weird because we recognized each other because we had seen each other at meets before, but we had never actually met each other. So when we saw each other at camp for the first time, it was just kind of like this weird, how do I know this person? But I feel like I don't know them, but I recognize their face type of thing in this speed dating.
Yeah. So I was there the whole summer, the whole 3 months. She was there for half of the summer.
Yeah.
So about a month and a half.
Yeah.
But essentially the whole time we were just kind of jokey with each other, and like, I'm super weird, like once you get to know me and once I get comfortable with somebody, and she's just weird in general, even if she doesn't get comfortable with you. But so we just laughed at each other.
We were just friends the whole time. But my first thing I remembered about Sam was I kind of remember speed dating a little bit. Samuel remembers that as the first time we met. But I remember talking to Sam where we'd all eat meals and stuff. And I remember the first time I saw him, I was like, he is so handsome. After that, we started talking, And I just thought he was so funny. And I remember leaving that conversation in wherever we're eating, and I just remember thinking, he's one to remember. And I just kept on, camp name was Skyscraper, but I just kept on thinking, like, Skyscraper is so cool. And I was like, I have to keep being friends with him. He's just such a cool person. And even at one point in camp, I remember thinking, if I was ever to like marry someone or date someone, I'd want it to be someone like Skyscraper. He's just so cool. It was never like we flirted together or anything. It was just strictly like, he's a cool person. After I met Sam and we kind of started joking around and stuff, I remember thinking, like, he is kind of attractive. And I remember walking with some girls. One of them said, Skyscraper is so cute. And I was like, I thought he was cute first. I'm just kidding. But this other girl turned to her and she was like, don't say that. Skyscraper's been dating someone for like almost 2 years and they're gonna be engaged soon and get married and blah, blah, blah. And so after I heard that, I was like, you know what? He's no longer cute to me. He's not even cute to me. I'm not going after someone that like already has a girlfriend, about to be engaged. That's a no for me.
So I ended up actually halfway through the summer breaking up with said girlfriend, and I was really at a point where I knew that I was not supposed to be dating somebody for a while, and so trying not to pursue per se a relationship. In all reality, it's really hard not to pursue a relationship at summer camp when it's literally all these girls and boys that are the same age as you, love Jesus for the most part, and are fun to be around. And so it's just super easy to kind of get in that idea of I'm gonna find another or a spouse here. As the summer goes along, P-Tay and I were all hee and ho, like making all these jokes. Really, in all reality, we really did not talk a lot. We didn't have a ton of interactions.
Yeah.
We just every now and then we'd pass by or talk a little bit, and we'd just kind of make fun of each other and whatnot. So it was a good relationship, but nothing like significant at all.
Yeah. So then at the end of camp, we all went out to eat as this like last farewell before we all went our separate ways. We were all taking pictures with each other. And so I went up to Sam and I was like, ooh, can I take a picture with you? We took our picture together. And then afterwards, Samuel.
Nope, it was not afterwards. While we were eating, I asked her if I could have her number because I wanted to, quote unquote, keep tabs if we had the same track meet together, which obviously we would know who's going to the track meet, so that would be easy. But it was just kind of my excuse to get her number. But then after that, we took the picture together and whatnot. But it wasn't really that significant.
As I said, he remembers all the details,
but
yada yada.
Everybody takes pictures together at the end. So
Samuel asked me for my number, and I take a picture of myself. So I put in my number, and then I take a picture of myself and like save it as a little picture. And then after that, we pretty much go our separate ways. I head back to Tennessee and then Indiana for school. And then Sam goes back to Ohio. And about a month into school, I'm just like kind of living life. Track started. All of a sudden, ding, I get this text message from Samuel Aaron Nordquist. And it was just it was a very happy text. It was like, hey, P-Tay, how you doing?
I wanted to be like a little bit in conversation, but like, it was just like very, how you doing? Like, hope everything is well.
Yeah. And so I got that text message and I was like, oh my gosh, Samuel texted me. Because as I said, I did think he was cute, but we were not at all like flirting at camp. So it wasn't like I thought that there was this chance that I was holding on to. It was just kind of like, he is really attractive, but at the same time, he'd be a great person to still be friends with, regardless of if it turns into something or not. So I was very excited, texted him back, but I am the worst texter on the face of the earth.
We texted for like 2 weeks, it wasn't really going anywhere, but we texted for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, like, P-Tay is very awesome, and like, I'm very just thankful to be texting her, and it was enjoyable, and so, but then 2 weeks goes by of texting, just drops it. Don't get a text back, get ghosted. So I'm like, what the heck? Didn't text for another few weeks. And I really, at that point, I wasn't like I wasn't super confused or anything. I was just like, we're not really a thing or at that point. And so it was very friendly. So just stopped texting. But then like another month went by and I was like, I'll just text her again. And text her again. We texted for like 2 weeks again. It was awesome. And at the end of 2 weeks, just drops it. So I was just like, because at that point I was getting a liking for her. Like I did enjoy talking to her, and like I don't know. I knew she was pretty. I knew she was athletic. I just knew she loved Jesus, and so there's a lot of things there that I would very much want in a spouse. And again, this goes back to me saying, "Oh, I don't want a relationship," but for me, it was really hard in that stage of life to be like, oh, like I'm just not going to pursue. And so, but I did learn a lot in like that 6-7 month time period. Actually, it was more like 8 months time period where I wasn't dating anybody. So that to say, another month or two goes by. So
we texted 2 weeks, stopped texting. Texted 2 weeks, stopped texting. Month goes by.
Months. But
or like a month or so.
Yeah, and so then it's like Christmas time. Like we're on Christmas break, and so like I don't know. Since camp, that was like 6 months or so. And then I'm like, I kind of want to like just want to figure out a way to text Wednesday or like talk to her, but she like I know she's not like wanting to text, so I was just devising a plan in my mind. And I didn't have Snapchat at that point. I had deleted it.
And Snapchat was my one and only. Like I love Snapchat so much. I would Snapchat my friends day in, day out. Like Snapchat was the it thing. Texting was a no for me, but I love pictures and I'm a visual person, so I was like, I love just like Snapchatting. So Samuel knew that in the short time that we had texted.
Actually, I didn't know. Oh. I assumed it.
He assumed it.
I was right.
There you go. So then Samuel downloads Snapchat, and I received the Snapchat from Samuel. And the Snapchat he sent me, he looked so fine. Like, he looked so good, and I was like, dang, I could get used to seeing that face every day. And that's what happened. So we started Snapchatting every single day.
For like a few months.
For a few months.
2.5 months.
But I will say, during that time of Snapchatting, we called each other. There was one time when Sam was like, hey, can I talk to you about track or something? Because we both long jumped. And he was like, I have a question about long jump.
She had coaches. I did not, so.
Yes. And so he asked me about long jump. Yeah. So he called me, and we ended up talking for an hour or two. And I was like, wow, that was really easy. That was a really easy conversation. And so then after that, we called again. And the second time we called, and this was when we were Snapchatting every day, we talked for 6 hours straight. Like 6 whole hours of almost constant conversation. And at that moment, I was like, I'm a goner. I really, really like this guy. After that, it was leading towards February. And February would be the first time that Samuel and I would see each other since camp. So after like 6 months, it would be the first time Samuel and I would see each other. And I was really nervous because we had not said like, I like you or anything like that. It was just very much like this. We like to talk to each other, but we never expressed our feelings to each other. So Samuel texts me like a day before we're supposed to see each other at this meet. Oh, he Snapchatted me. Yeah, because texting is a no-go. So he Snapchats me a day before we're supposed to meet each other or see each other again. And he's like, I want to talk to you about something at the conference meet. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was so nervous because...
But on the outside, I got tips. She's like, awesome, okay. Little did I know there was an inner turmoil going on.
There was such inner turmoil. I was so nervous because I knew that this was going to go one of two ways. Either Samuel was going to say, we've been talking a lot and I think that we should take a step back from this. Or he was going to say, I like you and I think we should start dating. We head into conference the next day. And conference is 2 days, mind you. So the first day of conference, Sam and I see each other for the first time in 6 months. We are so excited. But Samuel's very shy.
So, think about this. I am a shy person, and like I don't know how to handle myself around people who like I've talked to online like for months and months, and then like I'm talking to them in the flesh. It was just like so awkward for me. And
we also were competing that day, and like conference is so big as an athlete, so both of us had like these goals in mind. We were both competing that day, but it was also this huge big day for us like relationally. So there's a lot of things going on in both of our minds. But my sole thought was, Sammy and I are going to see each other. He's just going to be up front and say what he needs to say. But that did not happen the first day of conference. So we saw each other. I watched him long jump. He watched me long jump. He ended up qualifying for nationals, so it was super huge. And at the end of the day, like, we walked around, talked a little bit. But Samuel was a little standoffish. Now I know he was just a little nervous. But he was so standoffish. And at the end of the day, we just bid our adieus and go our separate ways for that night of conference. What a letdown. So then day 2 comes around. Day 2 comes around, and I'm just kind of done. I'm just so annoyed at that point. And Sam and I see each other. We talk a little bit. And then he says, I gotta go. I'm gonna go warm up with the boys. And I was like, so no conversation, no talk about what you want to talk about. That's fine. It's whatever. I don't care. So then he runs. He goes off. And I go to heat before my race. And at that point, I am really just like, are you kidding me? So I'm heating, and then all of a sudden, I see this little redhead pop his head down. And he's like, hey, you want to talk? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. So I take off the heat and stuff. And Samuel and I, we head on over to Lord knows where. He's just like, follow me. And so I'm following him.
I was just kind of aimlessly walking because I was hoping, I like seclusion, says I don't like other people kind of getting in on my business. So I was trying to find a place of seclusion. Did not find that. Kind of just walked around for a little while.
And I'm just following him, just like, where is this dude taking me? But finally, Sam finds this hallway, this long hallway, and he leads me to, like, the very end of the hallway. So we walk past people, kind of dodging people, and at the very end of the hallway, there's a bit of seclusion that homeboy was really looking for. So we get to the end of this hallway, and Samuel just he just blurts it out.
So I'll say this part. So yeah, I'm just like so nervous. I'm like, hope she feels the same. Like, it's just really hard for me to get that out because that's just kind of not my natural inclination to like say really hard things in person. And so I said that, like, hey, just wanted to know, like, we've been talking a lot and I just really like you. And the first thing that she says is, that's awkward. And it was a little bit of a jokingly, but I was like, I didn't really know. And she waited a second too. She's like, just kidding. I really like you too. And I was just like, I was super relieved, but I was also like,
I just thought I was gonna be funny.
The first of many eye rolls.
I just thought I was gonna be funny, and I was like, ooh, maybe I should play a little hard to get. So I was like, that's awkward. So that's how Sam and I met and started dating. And the rest of our relationship was long distance, but it was good. It was good. And now we are married. Put your ring up. Put your ring up.
Oh.
Now we're married. So, yes. If you guys have any other suggestions for videos you guys want us to film, just leave them down below. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.